Hello, hope you enjoyed those clips. Now let's have a look at some numbers. Ordering decimals, we're going to do adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing. So the four main operations and ordering. The thing to remember with decimals is we use our place value system to line up all of your columns. First thing we really want to do with these is to make sure they've all got the same numbers of decimal places. This is where everyone goes wrong and then your columns will go all over the shop. So, looking through here, most of them are 2 decimal places, but I have this one here which has 3 decimal places, so I'm just going to simply rewrite them with 3 decimal places each, and then it's a lot easier to compare them. So I've got 0.07 there, so that would be 0.070, 0.210, 0.215 as it was, 0.120 and 0.360. Now I've got the same number of decimal places, I can pretty much disregard the decimal point bit. So this becomes 360, 120, 215, 210 and 70. So we all know which ones are big on these, I hope. So the smallest number on here would now be our 70. Next smallest there is 120. Third smallest, 210. Fourth is 215. And then fifth is 360. So it would go 0.07, 0.21, 0.215, 0.12 and 0.36 at the end. So just line up your decimal points, put all your zeros in, give them the same number of places, and then you can just treat them like normal numbers. Disregard the decimals for now. Adding and subtracting is exactly the same thing. It's just a question of lining up all of your decimal points and then putting some zeros in to make sure we've got the same number of decimal places. So here, 3.65 plus 0.3. So I'm going to put another 0 in there. Doesn't have too much effect when we're adding, but the idea is the routine that we go through. So 5 and 0 is 5, 6 and 3 gives us 9, 3 and nothing is 3, gives us 3.95. Fairly straightforward, just a column addition there. So for your subtraction, 4.06 minus 0.12, we've already got the same number of decimal places, but again just line them up. So I would have here 4.06 minus, to remind us what we're doing, 0.12. It's basically the same sum as 406 take away 12, but we've got some decimals in there. I'm going to put my decimal down here so I don't forget. So now 6 take away 2 leaves me 4. 1 from 0 I can't do, so I borrow 10 from here. 1 from 10 is 9, and 3 take nothing is 3. Gives you 3.94. 406 take away 12 is 394. Wonderful. Okay, multiplying decimals. Again, we can disregard the decimals and put them back in later on. It's 1.2 times 0.7. We've basically got 7 times 12 hidden in there. That will always give you the same answer, and then we count in the decimals. So, 7 times 12, I'm just going to do a little column method here. 7 2 are 14, 4 down, carry the 1. 7 times 1 is 7, plus the 1 gives me 8. I hope you all knew that. 7 times 12 is 84. Now what I need to do is put my decimals back in. So there was 1 there, 2 there. 2 decimal places in my question, so I go 1, 2, my dot would go there, and my 0 at the front, so it equals 0.84. Okay, remember you can use some of your estimations and round into one significant figure just to see if you're in the right ballpark, and that will help you just sort of judge whether you've done one too many decimal places or whatever. Dividing by decimals, again, it's really 48 divided by 12 hidden in there somewhere. That's always going to give us the same answer, but I can't really divide by 1.2, it doesn't make much sense. It's much easier to divide by whole numbers. So what I have to do is times all of the numbers here in order to get rid of these decimals in one here. So I've got tenths here, 2 tenths, so I'm going to multiply it by 10 to make these whole numbers. So that would then become 48 divided by 12, cunningly, which as I hope you all know, is 4. So 4.8 divided by 1.2, there are 4 lots in there. 48 divided by 12, there are 4 lots in there. Same as 480 divided by 120, that kind of thing. So, for your decimals, when ordering or adding or subtracting, make sure you give them the same number of decimal places with some zeros. Doesn't affect the value, obviously. Line them all up, then add and subtract as per usual, or order them. They just can treat them like real numbers. For multiplying, ignore the decimals for now. Multiply as per usual, whether you use the grid method, diagonals method, or your column method. Then count them back in. Use estimation to check where you've gone. And for your division, multiply it so that the one you're dividing by is a whole number. So if this had been 0.12, I would have had to multiply both my numbers by 100 to make that a whole number. Okay? I'm not so worried about this one, because we're just divided by a whole number, so the process is exactly the same. Okay? So there'll be some questions for you to do now. Remember, line up your decimal points, put zeros in to preserve your place value, count your decimals back in or back out, and multiply so that you're only dealing with whole numbers. Enjoy these questions.